Yes. And if you're ready to wrap up this incredible week and start another incredible week that's even better than the week before, make some noise. All right. I'm almost convinced. It looks very convincing. You guys look amazing. You look fresh. A lot of videos, a lot of smile. But since I'm not entirely convinced, you may have to convince me one more time. You want to take a deep breath in. Breathe in all the awesomeness. Breathe in almost 90 participants that are on the line with us this morning. And it's time to prove how serious you guys are, okay? So make some noise and let's rock out!
A lot of girls' voices.
Yes, just have fun. You can do the hand dance.
Hand dance. I love the hand dance.
Let's do the face dance. Get those face muscles rocking. All right. Round of applause to everyone who's here on the line with us this morning. Woo! Yes. All right. All right. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. And welcome to our second incredible, one-of-a-kind, iinspire Rapid Results 100-Day Challenge, where our mission is to empower millions of people to live a life that they love, and where we're here to be out freaking standing. My name is Yali. I'm a coach, entrepreneur, and a rock star, as we like to call ourselves here on iinspire. And I'm so excited to begin this call with you guys, our second call, which is kind of symbolically symbolizing the end of our first Rapid Results week. So by now, you guys should be kind of feeling the buzz and right in the middle of the process of beginning this challenge. And before we jump into it, I'm just going to go over some ground rules because we're a lot of people on this call, and we want to just make sure that the call is awesome for everyone. So, ground rule number 1. That is mute yourself. Take control of the mute button, flex those mute button muscles, and make sure that if you have any background noise that you're muted, if we're sharing video that you're muted, all that good stuff, okay? So look around you. If anything might make noise, if you're moving around, if you're breathing heavily into the microphone, you might want to mute yourself. The rest of the time, because you have full control here, you are welcome to remain unmuted if you don't have any background noise and you're with us. And also, the reason I say flex that muscle is I really do love your participation. And today, on today's call, we're going to have shares. So I want you guys to mentally prepare for that. By the way, yes, if you're on the phone and hear some people tapping, you can press *6 to mute. And you can press *6 to unmute if needed. A lot of you guys on the phone today are muted and may not be able to unmute yourself, okay? So I'm telling you that in advance, but we have some noise and it's really hard to control. So if you'd like to participate on the call, please do us a favor and try to call in through your computer, through a tablet, or anything like that. It's also the best experience in other ways as well. Those on video know what I'm talking about. All right, so that's muting. Number 2, I'm going to go into some functions on Zoom. Some of you guys may be here for the first time. So if you guys are using a phone or tablet, you can swipe to the left and see multiple screens. And for you can't see all at once. But you can see about 4, so you can play around if you want to see different people. My voice and my video are coming from 2 different sources, if you're wondering. So you can find my video and then you see me while I'm talking. for a full effect like that. You can also search some other things on the menu on your phone or tablet. You have other options such as, of course, muting yourself, turning on your video, which we really want you to do. Other functions such as raising your hand, which will be very useful today now that we're starting to share. And other great stuff like the chat. Also, you guys, dialing in from PC, which is probably the best option for you. You can, if you're not on full screen, you can easily toggle between speaker view and gallery view on the top right-hand side. And you can see everyone at the same time, Brady Bunch style. So let's get into that Brady Bunch style just for a moment. I'll say hello to all of your video partners here, everyone. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Love them kisses, you guys. All right. Great. So that's the Brady Bunch style effect where we see all the windows together. And on the bottom, you have some other functions that you can use, like the mute button, which is useful. I have someone, here's another example for what you guys don't notice. Someone is typing right now, and we can hear that. So we can hear stuff like typing. So just make sure you're muted when you do. And other functions that you can find there. Under participants, you can raise your hand. That'll be really helpful. And there's a chat where you can tell each other things behind my back, great things about me. And other things you can message either privately or to the whole group. If you guys need a transcript, it's available later. All right. Third, we want to get into focus. And this is a big one for me. You guys that know me already know. I'm all about focusing. You guys are really used to multitasking as if it's a really great thing. But you know what? Multitasking takes away our focus. And a lot of what we want to have on this challenge in general and in our lives is we want to have focus, because sometimes focus is enough to produce great results. So practice that here on these calls, because what happens on these calls happens in your life later. And practice that by clearing away any distractions, being just here now today. If you really can't be, I'll welcome you guys to choose otherwise. But if you're already here, and I respect your time and appreciate the fact that you took time away from whatever it was you were doing on this Sunday and decided to be here, so be fully present. Play a distraction. Turn off your phones or anything that can make noise and distract you from being here, and just be there to listen, to get whatever you can for the challenge and for your life. I promise you it'll make things magical. The way that you listen to things is really a gift for yourself. So take full control of that and be fully focused with us here. Lastly, and this is my favorite one, and I think it's your favorite one as well, but we're going to test that out as well. So the last one is have fun. That means celebrate. We're here all in all to celebrate life, to celebrate the fact that we're all here together, enjoying this, running towards our goals. We're all appreciative of the fact that we have such an incredible community, all just racing towards their goals together. That small percentage of the world that's out there to actually make their dreams happen, and in a big way. And you're all contributors to each other by being in your mastermind, by being accountability buddies, and just by taking your goals and making them happen, because it does contribute to your surroundings and everyone around you. So I want to celebrate that, and that will really test your unmute muscle there. And sorry, Heather, I had to mute you because there's some noise feedback coming from your line. So this is when most of you can unmute. And let's rock out. Get ready. And go! Yes. I want to hear all the men on the line today, okay?
Yes.
So men, get ready to make some noise. Take a deep breath in. Unmute yourself. And make some noise, men! Oh yeah!
Yeah.
All right, women. I don't know about you, but that was almost as good as we can do, right? Let's show it to them. Women, unmute yourselves. Let's make some noise! Women in the house! Yes! You know what?
I got goosebumps.
I'm all about joining forces because that's a big deal on this challenge too. So let's join forces, and when we make noise this time, let's make some noise that really just symbolizes our commitment to everything we can do. We're gonna flex our, throats and our vocal cords here. And the reason we're doing that is just to simply anchor in all the power that we have, okay? So trust in this process. If you don't want to do it, no problem. But let's join forces and make some noise! Yes! All right, last round of applause to everyone. Amazing. All right, let's jump right into it. Some things I want to discuss today, and this could be a great time to mute yourselves just in case there's feedback coming from your line. One of the things I want to discuss is, first of all, the Rapid Results Program. So you guys all got emailed this incredible program by Jarek Robbins. And I don't know about you, but I'm so freaking excited about this program. And most of you jumped in right away, began implementing all the tools, and by now you have a clear layout of pretty much what you're working so hard for on these 100 days. And there was some confusion, so just to clear it out, and some of you guys may have to go back and just do a little bit more work, so you can do it today. The first day when you were supposed to set your goals up, because Jarek normally sells a 30-day program, but for us, we're doing a full 90-day program, then your goals were meant to be for the full 90 days. So if you guys did 30 days, that's okay. You're going to come out as overachievers, right? And you're going to have both your 30 days, and that's even better because you can achieve much more throughout the 90 days. So go and make sure that you have those covered for you. But most of us, we do have that. So you should have your goals set for the rest of this challenge, and you have a clear idea of why you're doing it. You have some new habits. Some of you guys have already changed your schedules a little bit just to match up to what Jarek recommended, and you visualized your ideal day, so you know what this is all for. Some of you guys had all those fears and worries and doubts that you might not know exactly what you want to do, but doesn't that ideal day exercise just help you out? Sometimes it's not even about, being something specific. Sometimes it's just about living a life the way you want to live it. So when you take a look at your ideal day, and if some of you guys are, there's no butts and no behind here, just booties. But if some of you guys have not done the ideal day yet, then don't worry, you can go to it. It's on the 5th day. So make sure you do that. And you get a clear idea of what your ideal day looks like. And maybe 2 ideal days, maybe 3, and you know what it feels like to wake up in your ideal life. And then your goals should go hand in hand with that. And now you should be doing a few actions every single day that push you towards your goals. So this is where we're all at. And one of the things I'm going to be discussing with you guys, and especially with your mastermind group leaders when I meet with them, and we'll talk about masterminds right after this, but I want to focus on the program. But one of the things and the tools that you guys are going to be learning throughout this 100-day challenge is a tool that I find very valuable. A part of it is called the completion. A completion process, the whole idea of it is to make things whole and complete for yourself. And I'll explain. You know, sometimes we'll walk around in life and we won't even notice that in the back of our minds, in that little tiny voice, are all these things that are open and not closed in our lives. We don't have answers for them. We're unsure, what we want in that area. And we maybe feel guilt, maybe feel worried about all these different open subjects in our life. And we walk around with that and we don't even realize that it's not complete for us. We're not in a place of being whole, of feeling perfect. And like, this is what is and this is what isn't. And let's move forward from here. And so the process of completion, it allows you guys to get that clarity, to complete anything that's unfinished in your life. And I'll give you an example in a moment. And to be like this clean slate, which not only gives you air, not only gives you that easiness, that fun kind of vibe, but it also gives you space to store in the things that really matter, the things you want to do right now, the things you can control, because you can't control whatever you did or didn't do in the past. So when you do the completion process, you're allowing yourself to grow and you're allowing yourself to feel whole and complete with yourself. And some of you guys are here on this call and you feel freaking awesome. You did everything you meant to do on this week and you're ready for the next week, the upcoming week. Some of you guys had a really stressful or full week and you may be feeling some guilt, some worry about not completing all the necessary worksheets or videos. Some of you guys may not have even touched them. And you know what? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you cannot undo what was, right? You only have right now and you only have going forward. And if you guys are here on this call and 100 of you chose to be here, and I'm sorry if some people can't get on, I think we're actually limited to 100 people. I'll take care of that. But if you're here on this call, you want to move forward. So I'm here to allow you to do that in a very easy and free way. And even if you guys feel awesome and amazing, there's always some room to grow. There's always something to learn from to get better for next week. So I want even those of you guys who rock this week to be listening just as much as those who didn't or think they didn't, okay? So the completion process is a real success kind of process. And what you do is you basically go over, and if you guys have a pen and paper, this is when you want to write what the completion process consists of. So the first part of it is saying, what worked? What worked? And when I say what worked, I mean all the things that you did this week on the program, because we're focusing on the program right now. You could do the completion process for anything in your life. And you want to look at what worked. What did I do that worked? Maybe I changed a habit that worked. Maybe my way of focus worked. Maybe just my motivation, my clarity around things worked. Maybe the fact that I shared with people around me worked. Maybe the fact that I canceled something and committed to this worked. Just look at your life and look at what did work. Now, even if you guys think you had the worst week ever, you still look at what worked because maybe just the fact that it mattered to you worked, okay? Even if you didn't do a thing about it. So you look at what worked and you list those things down or you say them out loud. The second process is what didn't work. What did not work? Now, when I say what didn't work, the first thought that comes to your mind is, what went wrong? But I want you guys to be open-minded and look at this not as in what went wrong, because if you go into what went wrong, what happens is you have a list of all the things you beat yourself up for. You know those things, your judgments about yourself? Oh, it didn't work that I'm a fat, lazy bum. And it didn't work that I suck. That's not what this process is about. And I'll give you an example, okay? Really successful people do this. And that's one of the keys for success. So Michael Jordan, any of you guys know that name? Sound familiar? So Michael Jordan, yes, was for a long time, maybe still is, I don't know, the most successful, #1 basketball player in the world. And Michael Jordan used to win game after game after game. And you know what? After he won his games, he had a coach, believe it or not, yes. And his coach and him would replay back the cassette tapes. Back then it was like tapes or VCR. They used to watch back his game that he won and search for what was missing and what didn't work. So now you get that the process was not looking for what was wrong, because he obviously won the game, but maybe he looked at the fact that he won because he ran the fastest, but he didn't jump the highest. Or maybe he jumped the highest, but he didn't work with the other team members as well as he could. Maybe he worked with the team members, but he didn't, focus on something that they thought of before. So all these things contribute to his success next week, because this week he won because he ran the fastest. Next week he'll win because he jumped the highest. And that's where this process comes from. So you want to look at what didn't work. Now we're doing it about the program. What didn't work, again, not by judging yourself, but what didn't work was that I had the tightest schedule, and I didn't give myself even 5 minutes to be non-perfect and just do the outlines of each worksheet. Or anything like that you can grow from next week. So even if you had an incredible week, you probably notice, those little things that you would want to improve next week and bring them in. And we're going to do 1 or 2 examples. It's going to be easier for us to do the shares once we have the mastermind groups all set up and ready, and I work with your leaders. But today we're just going to have an open kind of discussion. So anyone who wants to say what sorry, I forgot to tell you the last process. I just will, because you guys are writing it down, okay? So what worked, what didn't work, and lastly, what I'm taking away from this experience. And it can always be something kind of global, something that you just feel on a global scale that you can take away and remember and implement for the next times. And if you have this written down, it's really great, because you can save these sheets somewhere. You can always have an overview of your progress. And it's really nice to measure things that way. All right, so we're going to do some shares here, and I'm going to let 1 or 2 do really quick shares. And when I say quick shares, this is a time for you guys to practice what it's like masterminding and really just take into account the fact that we have 100 people on the line. All right, so we're going to do quick shares. Those of you who want to share about what worked first, okay, because we're the process in order. So people who have something to say about one thing that worked for them, we'll do one thing each that worked for them in the process of doing the program this week. Raise your hand, and raise your hand with the program if you can, because it's going to be really hard for me to see all your pictures. If you can, then write yes in the chat box if you can't find the raise hand function. And we'll see, we may have enough people that way. I'll try to be fair and give other people a chance, but I don't want to waste all the time on that. All right, so we already have Maureen, right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay. So just I'm going to remind you how we present ourselves on iinspire here. We present ourselves by saying our name.
And I'm a rock star.
Yes, she already knows it. Give it up for Maureen.
Yes.
Woo!
I wrote in the chat that this is exactly what I needed to hear today, because I had already written in my mastermind Facebook group that this was a really hard week for me, because I try to be perfect. And I'm so grateful that you said this, that, because I get hung up on that. I almost feel like I'm going to cry right now, because it's like you said this just for me. But because I don't look at my successes, and that is such a character defect of mine, because I've had a lot of, I made almost $2,000 this week, which for me is a lot of money to do in 1 week. But oh my gosh. So anyway, so I guess the biggest yes for me today is what you just said. My biggest takeaway for the week is what you just said. And oh my gosh, sorry.
So what worked? It's cool. And
Yeah.
I understand what you're going through right now. Yeah. Let's just give an example to everyone of that one thing that worked. So is it the $2,000 that you made this week? Was that like one thing that worked that you can say that worked?
No, I would say, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be quick.
You may have a whole list of things, but we're just going to give an example, like one example to everybody.
Yeah, now you've got me freezing up. So, okay.
So here's an opportunity. I'll tell you why. Because you know how you just said that one of the things that don't work for you is being a perfectionist, and you can put that on the list. So now you're looking for the perfect answer to give us right now. So I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and you're going to pick the most unperfect answer that you have. One thing that worked this week. 1, 2, 3, go.
Allowing myself to make mistakes.
Yes! Woo! Yes! Amazing. And you can add to your list of what worked, allowing yourself to be imperfect on this call.
Yes.
Good job, Maureen. Yes, another round of applause to Maureen. Yes, amazing. All right, we're going to jump on to the next share. Another thing that worked, okay? One quick thing that worked for somebody. And let's see who asked on the chat. Okay, Maureen, I see you. Okay, who else raised their hand? I see Asaf. Okay, Asaf, you can unmute yourself. And don't forget to present yourself by saying your name, followed by
Hey everybody, I'm Asaf, and I'm a rock star.
Woo! Yes.
Okay, so the one thing that worked for me this week was using the Coach.me app to track the action I chose for the different parts of life. And I'm so shocked by how simple this concept is and how easy I'm actually doing things that I always keep telling myself I don't have time for them and blah, blah, blah. And I'm actually, I think that's the 4th day in a row, and I'm actually doing the actions. I'm so happy.
I love that. Let's give a round of applause to Asaf. Thanks, guys. Amazing. All right. We're going to jump into the second part of the completion, which is what didn't work. And once again, I don't want to hear you guys beating yourself up. Just totally facing what you think didn't work and can work next week if you don't bring it into the mix. All right? So people who want to share what didn't work, this is the time to either write yes or raise your hand. If you really can't find the button and you can't write yes, then raise your real hand. I'll try to look at you. And by the way, I just want to mention that areas like these of what didn't work, these are the areas where you're most a contributor when you raise your hand. So I really appreciate these shares. And I see on the third screen here, we have Dragana. Yes. All right. You can unmute yourself.
Hi there. I'm Dragana. Hello. I would like to share with the group what didn't work for me is that I needed more time to think of what my goals were, and I just heard in a mastermind group that it is okay if I needed more time than to come up with all the goals on the first day. So it's okay for me to be 5 days, to take 5 days longer than the rest of the world, I guess. So what didn't work for me is maybe I did not spend enough time or commitment into this program as I perhaps will from now onwards.
Amazing. And you could definitely do that with your accountability buddy and your mastermind group that you're going to have. So thank you for that authenticity. Let's give it up for Ghana. All right. Great. So that was a perfect example of how she didn't judge herself. She just said, you know, you know, this is what didn't work. And she sounded cool about it. And that's what a completion process allows us to do, to go on. All right, we have Christy Watkins.
Hey everybody, first time on video here. What didn't work for me was...
Don't forget to present yourselves, guys. You're not getting the round of applause you deserve.
I'm Christy Watkins and I'm a rock star. What I like to do a whole bunch of things at the same time, and what didn't work for me is thinking that I could just fit it in. And when I tried to fit it in, the video didn't work, or I didn't have time, or I'm too tired, or I want to work out. What do I do instead? And so that didn't work. And it's funny, the opposite of what worked is when I did it first thing in the morning. So you kind of put those two things together, and it's like it's only 5 minutes on the video. So that's what I got out. And thanks for letting me share, and I'm glad to be on the group with everybody.
Yes! Let's give it up for Christy! Yes. And now you guys are noticing how valuable these shares are, because some of you guys may have been thinking the same thing or haven't thought about it and now take value out of it. So thank you guys for sharing that. So make your own list and write down what worked and what didn't, and write down as many things as you can, because the more things you express and put out there, the more you can complete it and get over it. And I do recommend that this process you bring into your mastermind groups, and we'll do it around that as well, and around your accountability buddies. The more you vocalize these things, the more you realize that they're just thoughts, just something that you created in your mind, and the more you can let go of them and just become fresh and start fresh from that point. Now, takeaways, right? So our last share, and I'm going to lower hands so that if you guys want to share this part, you can raise your hand again. All right, so anyone who wants to share takeaways, and again, I remind you guys, with takeaways, we can speak for hours. So now, one takeaway, not all the takeaways, one small takeaway that you can walk out from this week of the program with. And I want one example of that. So you guys can raise your hands or write yes in the chat right now. Grace, I see that you wrote, I'll share. Was that right now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Grace. I'm a rock star. And absolutely, really quick, it is absolutely working. I cannot ever remember being as happy as I am right now, because I'm pushing myself and I'm achieving goals and I'm stretching, and it is making me so freaking happy.
Woo! Yes. Amazing! Round of applause for Grace! Yeah. Oh yeah, so many incredible rock stars. Thanks for the quick share. Did you guys notice? That's a great example. Another incredible quick share of takeaways. I see Liliana. Let's give it up for Liliana!
Hello, good morning. I'm Liliana. I'm a rock star, and I have realized through this process that I am more eager to do more things that I'm actually feeling prepared for. So as I was going through this, I realized that I really need a very good accountability system. And as I was doing all the work, the people from Anthony Robbins Research reached me, and I spoke with their chief coach, and I signed up for the program, because I realized that this is the kind of people that I need, and the kind of coaching, the guidance, and I know that I'm armed with all the things that I need to succeed for my goals and all my plans and dreams.
Amazing! Amazing! Round of applause for Liliana! Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So I would see it as a choice that maybe was difficult for you before, but valuing yourself enough to give yourself that gift. Amazing. I love it. Who else here feels that they now have more value for themselves now that they're following all their dreams? Make some noise. All right, well, you guys do have a lot of value, so look at your takeaways. And by the way, someone has feedback, so may need your help to mute yourselves. But you can unmute for just a moment, because we're going to rock out for the value that we all have. And we'll take that example into all our lives right now. And I just want you to understand how valuable you are that you're in this process. And I want you to feel it. And I want you to celebrate that with yourself as if you were someone else. Okay? So you can unmute yourself if you'd like. Let's celebrate! Celebrate you!
I am a rock star!
If you feel sexy, then show us. All right, round of applause. Yes. Okay. We're going to move on to our next part on the call today. And I'm going to need you guys to mute. I don't know where I'm not sure where the echo is coming from, but it's really hard for me to manage. Let me try to take control. Oh, wow. Someone just muted. It's you. Probably 10 people at the same time, but one of you 10 people that just muted. All right. So we're going to jump into our next part, and we're going to, now that you know the rules, we're going to do this way more efficiently than we did the first one, and we went over this. And I want you guys to take this completion process into your lives this week. But we want to run through 2 categories that you guys were emailed about, you guys read about, and you guys have started this week. And the first one, we're going to start with a video that most of you guys have seen in one of the emails that I sent out. But I'm going to play it to you here. And those of you on the phone, you can hear this too, because it actually has speaking involved. So we're going to begin with that because I think it's a really, really valuable video. And I want to share it once again. So let's give it up for Napoleon Hill!
This principle of success is called the mastermind principle. I want you to understand the nature of the mastermind principle because you must use it before you can take possession of the master key. An understandable definition of the mastermind is this. It consists of 2 or more people who work in perfect harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose. Now, here are some interesting facts about the mastermind which give you an idea of how important it is and how necessary that you embrace this principle and make use of it in attaining success in your chosen occupation. First of all, it is the principle through which you may borrow and use the education, the experience, the influence, and perhaps the capital of other people in carrying out your own plans in life. It is the principle through which you can accomplish in 1 year more than you could accomplish without it in a lifetime if you depended entirely upon your own efforts for success. Of one fact, I am absolutely sure. When you form a true mastermind alliance with others and work with them in a spirit of perfect harmony, you can draw freely upon the spiritual forces within you in carrying out your plans and desires. I also know that the mastermind principle can give you absolute protection against failure, provided always that your purpose in using this principle is beneficial to all whom you influence. In my research while organizing the science of success, I had the collaboration of practically every outstanding successful man this country has produced during the past 50 years. And I can tell you definitely that their success was due in the main to their knowledge and application of the mastermind principle. There is no such thing as something for nothing. Everything, including your personal success, has a price that must be paid. And the only price you are requested to pay for the present is the effort necessary to do the things that I have suggested. Success is something which has to be planned, and success is something which has to be earned in advance. True, there is such a thing as luck, but just remember that luck is something you can create for yourself if you know the rules and follow them just as I give them to you. Remember, too, that success in the higher brackets of achievement is something that can be had only by taking others along with you. And the best definition of success, which I know, is this. Success is the knowledge with which to get whatever you want from life without violating the rights of others and by helping others to acquire it. And just remember that your only real limitation is the one you accept and set up in your own mind.
Yes. Let's unmute ourselves and give a round of applause to that. Yes. All right. All right. So the reason I love that video so much, and most of you get it, is it really touches on the magic of the mastermind. It's more than just a tool. It's more than just connecting to people. And by now you've realized, or you've read my email, it's also not just another social activity. Your mastermind helps you tap into powers that we cannot explain. It truly does. And it allows us to create a success for ourselves that we couldn't otherwise create on our own. And I'm so happy to allow you guys to create these masterminds here together. For some of you, it won't be the first time. For some of you, it is. But really accessing that place that can create so much for everyone else. And one of the concepts that really has changed me throughout the process of masterminding, or throughout my my career life as well, is the process of understanding that being a contributor to others, even when it means putting my ego aside or getting over some fears in that area of someone else succeeding and maybe me being jealous or left behind, realizing that when it really comes from a pure want to allow others to succeed, miraculous things happens to me, my life, and my career in ways that I can't even explain. So I really hope that you guys not only learn that from experience, but also trust in that process and help me create it with all of you guys. Now, we have some masterminds that have been created over the past week. In fact, 21 beautiful, incredible masterminds. Some of which have already met up and implemented some of the tools together. So if you're a part of a mastermind, and I can't call out one by one because of lack of time. So if you're a part of any mastermind and you know your friends are here and you have this alliance that has just begun and you're fully committed to everyone in your mastermind, to their success and to their following up with this program and to giving them your all, I want to hear you mute yourself and help me out by making some noise! Let's celebrate our mastermind. And if you see your mastermind buddies here, say hello to them. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Carmel.
All right, round of applause to all the masterminders out there. All right, and some of you guys may have chosen, so much love on this line today. Some of you guys may have chosen not to participate in a mastermind, and we totally understand that it's probably out of restrictions in your schedule or anything like that. We totally respect you guys, and we want to give you a round of applause as well because you're still doing the challenge with us. Yeah. Yes. Everyone here is a success. So if you're not a part of a mastermind and you want to be, you can still, look through your emails or contact our power team or volunteers, and you can get help with listing yourself up for a mastermind. It's not a difficult process. You can still go ahead and do it. If you aren't a part of a mastermind and you cannot be a part of a mastermind, but you'd like people's support once in a while, I promise you that anyone on a mastermind will be more than happy and willing to contribute to your success regardless of your commitment to a mastermind. That's just the type of family that we are here. And I want to run quickly through a completion for masterminding. So those of you who have already met up with your masterminds, you probably just on the first call can already notice some behaviors that worked and some that didn't. So I really want you guys to share because you're going to be representing not every mastermind calls. So please raise your hand or write in the chat right now if you'd like to share one thing that worked in masterminding for you the first time. One thing that worked in masterminding for you this time. Who wants to share? And there's still some really noise on the line, so I'm not sure where it's coming from, but someone has some noise. So if you can mute yourself, that would be great. All right, Tony. Where's Tony? I don't see you, but yes! Don't forget to present yourself.
Hi, my name is Tony, and I am a rock star. We put together our mastermind meeting kind of at the last minute this week. And I think what we're deciding is that we really want to stay focused on that hour of just really helping each other. We don't want like too much homework because we're all feeling a little overwhelmed. So we want to just focus on accountability, supporting each other, the small interaction. We're going to have some fun. We're going to tell some jokes. We're going to play some music. Most of us are entrepreneurs in my mastermind group. We're all entrepreneurs, and we're all super focused and serious. So we want to bring the energy up and have some fun and smile, make people smile, and get to know each other on a different level.
Amazing, Tony. And before we give you a round of applause, I'm just going to focus you on the question, okay? So
Okay.
one thing that worked, out of all the great things that worked, the fact what you want to do, what you will do, but do you notice the difference between, and I don't want to call you out, I'm just using it as an example so that you guys can become more efficient in your shares also throughout the masterminds, okay? So if you allow me to, I'll give that as an example, okay?
Yes.
I mean, it's great. You want to give the credit to your mastermind and you want to show how amazing it is, and I really understand that. But in order to be really efficient, let's focus on the task at hand, and that's really just to share one thing out of the list of great things, one thing that already has worked. So you've had one meeting, maybe it was the communication, maybe it was they're all on the same level, but think about what that was. I mean, something got you to the point of understanding that you're all focused, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you love that. So the understanding that you're all focused, I would maybe leave that or that you all want the same task at hand, or that you all want to focus on an hour, okay? Whatever it is that you mentioned, those can be takeaways. But what made that possible? What made that get created? What do you think it was? Was it the fact that you were all on time? Was it the fact that that everyone was on the same level? Try to think of one thing that really worked in that meeting, in the meeting itself.
The fact that we were all focused at that time and we didn't have a lot of homework, a lot of videos, a lot of things going into it. We were just there, we were present, and we were involved in each other's issues.
I love it. I love it. So that worked for you, the focus. So let's give her a round of applause, Tony! Woo! And as we're applauding you, we're really applauding your whole team for being so focused. And thank you for pointing that out. That truly is something that works, and take it away to your accountability, to your mastermind groups. So bring in focus, like move everything aside and just be fully there. It really does make magic happen, even if you guys aren't fully prepared. That usually is magical. All right, I saw someone else who wrote in the chat, so I may give them the chance to do it. Brendel, right? And I hope you guys are from different masterminds, just so that we have enough. Okay, I don't know if you're around. Brendel, are you there? Yes, no? All right, we'll skip to someone else.
She is there. She just, oh, yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Sorry, I was on mute. Hi.
Now I see you. Hi, present yourself.
Hi, I'm Brindle, and I'm a rock star with glittering diamonds all around.
Love it.
I didn't write something down, but are you asking me a question?
Oh, yeah. One thing that worked for you, did you already meet with your mastermind?
We had a very quick phone conversation, maybe 10 minutes long.
Okay, you know what? Let's skip because of lack of time. Let's skip to one thing that didn't work on that meeting. Not from judgment, but just from, something to move forward with.
Sure. One thing that didn't work is that some of us had ideas of what we wanted the group name to represent, and it totally didn't jive with other people's beliefs, and so that it kind of became an issue. And everybody has to respect their own everybody's beliefs, but when it comes to something that represents the whole group, we have to all make sure that we're all okay with it. And
okay, cool. So maybe what didn't work is that that people made an issue of it. That there was maybe a moment in time where instead of that just being, instead of finding the ultimate process to choose the name, maybe it just became a thing. Would you say that was it?
No, I would say that if you're doing something that includes the whole group, you have to make sure that if you root meaning to it, that it's something that everybody is okay with.
Okay, cool. So yes, totally. So taking into account everyone in the group and all the things. So that was not necessarily done throughout the call, and that didn't work. So thank you for pointing that out. Thank you. Brenda, let's give her a round of applause. All right, let's take one takeaway from someone who is not in her or in Tony's group and has a great takeaway from whether, whatever it is, has a great takeaway to share with us from their meeting. I can't tell if, Sanjay?
Yeah, I can share.
Yes, go ahead.
Our group doesn't have a name, so we'll call it Mastermind 3. One thing that worked great for us is while we were on the call, one of our team members, Michelle, created a Facebook group instantly, and we all agreed to post our wins for the day.
Amazing.
And we have been doing consistently, and another good example of that, I was struggling with the goals, so I wrote, I'm going to try this weekend to rework them. And I got a good comeback, says there is no try. Yoda tells you do or do not.
Or do not.
That was
wow. I love that.
Yeah. So.
Yes, round of applause to Sanjay in group 3. Yes. That's awesome takeaways there, and I love the example of do or don't do and don't try. I can make a whole call about it, but take away the word try from anything that you say. And a great exercise that was done to me at Landmark was that people say, I'll give you an example, if some of you are sitting down right now, I want you to get up for just a moment if you can, if it's not very complicated. Okay, great. So now you just did it, right? You got up. Now I want you guys to all try to sit down. Yeah, no, don't sit down. No. Just try to sit down. Get back up. Try to sit down. Okay, great. So you're doing all kinds of funny, weird things, but you're definitely not sitting down, right? There is no such thing as trying. It's a great excuse. You guys can all sit down. It's a great excuse for being stuck on something, stuck in the middle and not wanting to act. So every time you say, okay, do this, all right, I'll try, you can remind your team members, what does that even mean? Like, what's that going to look like when you're trying, okay? It's an excuse, so definitely great example, Sanjay. Thank you for that takeaway. Another round of applause for mastermind groups, for all your mastermind groups. Woo! And lastly, because we want to be on time, we're going to jump into something that you've just begun. Some of you guys have begun it before I even told you so. Some of you guys just got the email last night. So that thing is accountability buddies. And you guys are now going to, and there's a reason why we're doing this in steps, so that you guys get a feel for the program first, and you get your integrity around the program, you get your schedules around it, then you get into your mastermind groups, you get a feel for that, and now you guys are going to jump in and you all have accountability buddies, those of you who requested some. And if you didn't, same thing, you can reach out to the power team or to one of our volunteers, or just write a post about it on Facebook. We'll help you out with the process of requesting an accountability buddy. But make the long story short, and this could be a really long story, an accountability buddy is really your chance to get a level of commitment from yourself that you couldn't have done on your own, okay? I mean, the commitment's there, but the actions are not always in line with that, and we all have that fault within us, okay? The reason is mostly because we only have our point of view. And in our point of view, sometimes we don't even see that things became a habit for us. Maybe we have unempowering habits that are stopping us from, pulling off whatever it is we want to pull off. And another thing, the way that we perceive ourselves is also a big issue here, because sometimes who we want to be and the way we're perceiving ourselves is not the same thing. How many of you guys have had a point in time where you felt amazing, you could truly imagine who you ultimately are and who you ultimately want to be, right? You had that moment of clarity, of vision. I see a lot of you raising your hands. Most of you guys did, otherwise you probably wouldn't be here. You're all into self-development. You all can see that anything is possible and you can become something amazing, truly amazing for the world, for yourself. And because you're believers and because you have that value for yourself, you've touched on that. However, what about those days? And I think at least 99.99999% of you have experienced this. You woke up one day and you just weren't that thing. You woke up and something upset you. Or it doesn't even have to be when you wake up, but you're just like not having that great day. And somebody could point you out and say, oh, look at you right now. I don't think you're being that thing. So how many of you ever feel unempowered? Right. And how many of you ever feel sad and upset? And how many of you are just not being in line with that incredible person sometimes? Right. Okay. So I want you, the good news is, okay, it's not that we're just not a great bunch of people here. The good news is everyone human possibly is that way. So if you're going home and you have a fight with someone or something just doesn't work out, don't beat yourself up for it. Just remember that 99 people here on the call also raise their hand, and that happens to us all. But we want to make sure that gap between who you are and who you want to be is as small as possible and as short as possible. So how many of you have had the experience of, since beginning to work on yourself with self-development, different tools, different things, shortening that gap, like not being mad for 3 days in a row, but being mad for a couple hours. Yes. Or, you know, not being yourselves, but then owning up to it and saying I'm sorry, or trying to recover that in some way. Yes. And, you know, not even allowing yourself to beat yourself up for so long. Yes. So that's what it's all about. And an accountability buddy is your greatest asset, because an accountability will always see you as the person that you want to be. And in that, they will mirror to you where the gap is and allow you to easily snap yourself out of it and bring yourself back to where you want to be. So as yourself also being someone else's buddy, you want to take that on. The focus of your first meetings is really getting to know your buddy from a place of who they ultimately want to be. That should be your main priority. You want to know who they ultimately want to be, because that's the only person you're going to see. So when they're complaining and when they're in victim mode and when they can't do something, you're talking to the leader. You're talking to someone who's going to make an influence on this world. Now it's going to personally annoy you if they're not in line with that, right? And it's so much easier to be responsible to someone else than it is to you, because you sometimes can't even see that gap in yourself. Now, when you have somebody talking to you as a leader and you're unempowered, how freaking good does that feel? How many people in your life, when you're unempowered and you're being a bitch or, you know, whatever it is to them, will talk to you as a brilliant, beautiful star and light in the world? Not many. And so that's where your accountability buddy comes in, and also in a lot of different ways. But your accountability buddy will know, and these are the things you want to note about your buddy. They will know, you know, where your weaknesses usually were. And I say this in past tense on purpose. They'll know to recognize them if they come up again. Procrastination, waiting till last minute, you know, beating yourself up for something, whatever it is. And they'll be able to call you out on that. And they'll be able to bring you back to who you are. And they'll bring you back by knowing your whys, your reasons why, the things that fuel you to get back up on the horse and keep going. And they'll help you finish up this challenge in the best way possible. All right. So we're not going to do the whole completion here, because some of us haven't even started with buddies. I can tell you my buddy and I are, wow, we've been working for a couple of years together now. Jana, I don't know if she's on the line, but if she is, she's probably on the phone, and I think they're muted. So shout out to Jana for sure for being such an amazing buddy. A lot of the things that I do here wouldn't have been even possible if I didn't have a buddy like her. And that's how I want you guys to feel about your buddies. So I hope you create that. And if anybody, oh my God, someone just unmuted themselves and there's a lot of feedback. Okay, but they muted. So if one of you guys has an experience with the current buddy, one they just began, one they had in the past, or has any takeaway from buddies in general and wants to say it real quick, this is a chance for you to share. Maybe someone who didn't share. And I'm gonna give a short chance to those on the phone. I don't know if this is gonna make a lot of noise. So I'm gonna unmute on the phone here just to see if someone on the phone is dying to share. So unmuting just for a second. Somebody on the phone wants to share? Okay, no, and that was good enough of a try, I think. All right, so I'm going to see if any of you wrote yes. I don't see it. Anybody can? Oh, yes, MP. Let's give it up for MP.
I raised my hand physically, so I'm here. So, yeah, I'm just. Okay,
it's hard to see. Sorry.
MP, and I'm a rock star. You already know this.
Woo!
And so anyway, you know, I'm just really excited because my little girl's even listening. She's like, yeah, I want to share. She's excited about this challenge as well, because it's small little things, mundane things that we do. We don't get success overnight. We got to do little big things over and over again. There's a book that's, you know, Slight Edge from Jeff Olson. You're either making a slight edge upwards or downwards. You make the decision. If you don't work out today, you may not be fat tomorrow, but in time, you're going to be out of balance. And this right here is phenomenal because we can keep ourselves on track and really see what we're doing. And we're very excited about doing this challenge, Howie. I'm glad you brought it to it. I really reached out to my buddy as well. Man, it's phenomenal. And always, like I always say, my saying is, don't let the start stop you.
Yes. Let's give a round of applause to MP. It wasn't about accountability buddies, but that's okay. I think you guys got mainly what you should out of accountability buddies. And we'll just go over some quick things to take away from this call today that are really important for me. But before that, does AP want to say hello for a moment?
AP. Harry. She wants to say hi, Harry.
This girl is magical, and she's been a part of iinspire for a while now. So we're going to give her the stage just because she's a mini rock star, and she can teach us all quite a few things. So let's give it up for Abby AP! Woo! Woo! Hi!
Hi. Something that makes me happy today is life, because if life is the best thing that you should be grateful for every morning, every day you wake up.
Yes! Yeah. I love that. Thank you, AP. Let's give her a round of applause. Yes. I love that. I love that. And I see a lot of you guys want to share. We're going to have to wrap up the call. If you guys want to stay extra 10 minutes for shares, that can be after we wrap up the call and shut off the recording, just for integrity purposes, because that's how we are. But I want to end with a few things to take away from today, and with rocking out, of course. So I want to end with, going over a little bit what we mentioned today. So we started off by looking at the program, the Rapid Results Program, the incredible program that we were given by Jarek Robbins for a really incredible price, and we all get to follow throughout this 100-day challenge. The value of this program is beyond money, beyond anything. The value of this program, if you really take it on and you implement all the small tools daily, or you take it all, chunk it up on the weekend, whatever it is, will really allow you to achieve rapid results, because there are programs out there that do mention, they touch on these things, they're not necessarily rocket science, but we never really have the ability to implement them, because either we're getting them all together, or we're just not following through. And your chance here is to get them bit by bit, so that you do implement the tools in a way that's easy for you and can be integrated into your life. And those of you who've been doing it, that that's true. So we're here to keep you accountable to that. And one of the things that you can do right now after this call is you go over and do a completion for yourself. Look at what worked. What did work with the program today? What didn't work? List those things down. Didn't work, so that you can work on them later, and what your general takeaways are. And it's really great to look at your takeaways at the end of this, so you understand that every process, whether good or bad, whether easy or hard, was for a reason. And you have your focus on that reason, you feel completely complete, and you go on. You do the same things with mastermind groups, which is something that we touched on. So really, your mastermind group is going to be who you are. So create that into the most powerful group that anyone has ever seen here. And meet up with them and make sure that you guys have roles. I do recommend doing 1.5 hour calls. I know it's hard for all of you guys, but try that in the beginning. It's hard to do 1 hour, and decide who the group leader is in an empowering way, and respect that leader. And your leader is going to get a call with me, and the value that they're going to bring to your team is going to be doubled because of those calls. I'm going to ensure that. So you guys do your mastermind sessions and bring in your authenticity and your integrity into those groups. And lastly, your buddies, your accountability buddies, that is a person that you can form habits with that will go with you not only through this challenge, but maybe even afterwards. So use that buddy, be completely raw and authentic. Don't get into stories, but tell them who you're committed to being. And when you're not in line with that, and help them out in finding the ways to keep you accountable. And it's a process, okay? Sometimes you'll want to talk more, sometimes less. Maybe your buddy doesn't seem on the same page with you in the beginning. I promise that if you're both committed to success and to each other's success, and you really listen, you listen to who they want to be, you can be empowered just by that, and you can respect them for that. And over time, you guys will find out if you want to speak more or less, if you want to text or phone, etc. So take that buddy on as your greatest asset on this challenge and make the best of it. And lastly, things you want to know is get into your next week powerfully. Make sure you've completed everything that you haven't completed, even in your life. Okay, go through the process. What worked and what didn't work, and what you take away, and just be a new person as you start the next week. Make some changes in your schedule so that you can implement whatever you have to throughout next week's Rapid Results program, and especially towards our first call with Jarek Robbins. Woo! And lastly, get ready for some changes. Always be in touch with the mastermind schedule. There are going to be some changes there. I'm going to make some folders for you guys to use and implement, and I'm going to work with your mastermind leaders. So please take seriously all the emails that I send. I promise there is no spammy or just infomercially kind of email. All the emails are 100% focused on what we're doing here. So read through them, especially the mastermind one and the buddies one. I know they're long, but I promise it's all gold in there. So bring that into your groups, bring that into your buddies, possibly read it together. It'll really help you out. All I did there, and the reason that I wrote so much is only because from my experience, it took so long to learn those things. And sometimes it wasn't in the most empowering way. So I just want to give you guys that gift. It's just like the parent that wants to keep their child from making all the mistakes. So it may work, it may not work, but I wrote down, all the valuable tools that I can give you guys in order to begin masterminding and having accountability buddies in the most effective way possible. Now, lastly, I want you to just take a deep breath. You guys are sitting down for so long. And exhale. One more time, just take this moment to yourself. I know you guys know we're ending the call. That may put your mind elsewhere. So don't be with us even for 20 seconds. Just inhale in everything you got from the call today. And exhale. Remember on your next inhale that you're surrounded by all these people who are committed to their success and yours. Remember the magic of that. Also inhale in all those phone people who couldn't participate. Believe it or not, all the noise we were making was just from the video people. So it feels amazing, doesn't it? And, I want you to keep your eyes closed for a moment and just imagine, where you are going with this challenge. Imagine your goals. Imagine your buddies, your groups. Give yourself an image of what that way is going to look like for you. Just allow yourself to take a moment and just see the vision of where you're going and where everyone else is going. And take in anything that's valuable for you throughout that process, whether it's communication with the people, whether it's your own successes in life, whether it's just the feelings that you're going to ignite in yourself, and breathe them in, anchor them into your body. And sit the way you would at the end of this challenge, on the last call, when you've communicated all your successes and we've only had one last thing to do after you did. And that last thing that we had to do at the end of this challenge is to celebrate! Unmute yourselves and let's just celebrate everyone on this call. 20 seconds, rock out. Goodbye to everyone. And you can stay on the line if you want to share just a little bit after this call. But let's celebrate everyone. Just rock out.
Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, wiggle, yeah. Sexy and I know it.
Bye to everyone who's leaving.